once we're live.
Okay, we're live.
Okay, we're live. This game is called Tyrone versus Cops, and
We're
it's
gonna talk about a really serious issue today.
just
Something that's really close to our heart, which is police brutality and racism in the system of police administration. Um,
yeah.
so we thought we'd play a game that talks about this today. Um, we're doing our part as streamers. We're doing our part in society to fight systemic racism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing today. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
This is this is how this is our. Oh, so they will start shooting at you. See, they shot at you first. They just
Hey,
shot at you.
they told me to come out, and I came out.
Yeah, you came
This
out
is self-defense.
where just because you don't have a shirt, because you're carrying a gun. This is America. You're allowed to carry a gun if you want to.
That's true.
So clearly, it was because you were black. There's definitely no other reason.
I can't believe this game is on Steam, frankly. But
Is the audio still on? Did you turn it down?
I turned it down because I don't like it. But
The song definitely does get annoying. Wait, turn it back on for a second so people can hear it. Oh, okay.
yeah,
So got this cool trap beat to listen to while you fight against depression.
it's it's definitely not stock music that he got royalty free off of some website. Oh shit.
Is the air horn part of the music, or is it when the big guy spawns? Is the
I
big guy
think the
here?
air
Oh, there
horn
he is.
goes when the big guy shows up.
Okay, yeah. He seems to have a minigun, but only shoots in bursts.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have a very long chain of ammo for it.
He kills you really fast compared to the other guys, like disproportionately.
They're surrounding you. You've got to get back into the garage and use the house for cover. Anyway, this is a really serious subject that we need to be talking about. People aren't talking about it. They've done protests. They've done mostly peaceful protests, and still the system isn't changing. Oh, bazooka!
Yeah.
The system can be fought very effectively with bazookas. Malcolm X would be proud.
Shouldn't waste ammo on it.
Oh, you can carry multiple. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so speaking of protests, AOC was at a protest because, that's what political officials need to be doing.
Yeah, yeah. They're part of the proletariat that don't have control over the system, so they've got to be going in. Oh, I wonder how fast that'll do it. They've got to be going and.
There we go. Oh, I killed myself.
Oh, is that why you're trying to get it farther away?
Yeah.
It's not like one of those games where the rocket only has a 10-foot radius. Oh, you got rapper this time. That means you're. That's probably the highest title they can give you in these kinds of communities.
I bet the highest one is called King, but
King. That might be a good guess.
so
Points.
oh. Okay.
Can you deselect them and get money back?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but like you can't use 10 points for anything, so you might as well get the chain.
All right.
So, um, I don't know. There's not much else to this game. It looks like I think this is the only map. There's 3 types of enemies. Well, no, actually, there's 4. We haven't seen the melee guy yet, but
Oh yeah, the
the flying
is
one,
the
I guess.
he flies?
It looks like it. If he spawns, I'll show you. But
Okay. It's just a survival game. It's like the old Mario Bros. Arcade game. Not the Donkey Kong one, but the one that they um the one where you're like in that pipes area and there's like all the dudes coming out of the pipes.
oh yeah, the original Mario Brothers.
Yeah, the old Mario Brothers thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never did beat that. They put it on several of the Game Boy games. Is this the one you were talking about? Oh wait, no, he has the minigun. Never mind. Oh, a new car came, I think. Do the cars
A
move?
new car?
Yeah, I thought I saw a car driving up. Right
No,
there.
I can move. Like you can move the cars because I think they're physics objects. But
Oh. What was I talking about?
systemic racism in our communities.
Yeah. So this game is really great because we need to be talking about fighting systemic racism, fighting police brutality and their unfair targeting of BIPOC groups, BIPOC individuals, persons of color.
Yeah, I don't know why Republicans are passing all these laws like getting rid of Roe v. Wade and all that. Just because, like, I mean,
It's
we've
probably
tried to assassinate them and everything, and it didn't change their minds.
yeah,
Oh shit.
which that's a form of peaceful protest as well. So
Assassinating judges.
yeah, that's they're rightfully responding to oppression. I'm gonna use the bazooka on the big guy.
Oh yeah. Dude. Oh shit.
Now fire it at his feet. That's how you use explosive weapons. Oh,
Ah, I suck at this game.
you were too dumb. You didn't use your head. It's probably because of socioeconomic factors, though.
Probably. Anyway, so I guess there's this New York guy running for public office, and some guy attempted to assassinate him with like one of those little like keychain cat.
Oh, I just remembered we were talking about AOC before that, but
Yeah.
we'll go back to that. Yeah, he had what looked like one of those like Batman knives. And in the video, you see him walk up to him casually and kind of raise it up in front of his face so that he could clearly see it. And he wasn't moving very fast. It almost looked more like he was showing it to him.
I don't think that. Okay, frankly, I don't know if that'll kill you. I mean, obviously, most like anything can kill you, right? But like, I don't think a little plastic cat ring thing will realistically have a good chance of killing you.
Was it
I mean,
plastic?
maybe if you hit, yeah, they're usually made of plastic, but well, sometimes they're like aluminum or steel, but a lot of times they're plastic. So I mean, obviously, plastic can still like puncture skin, but
Yeah, I assumed it was metal. Was it not even a real knife?
it's not a knife. It's just like a sharp thing.
You saw that or read it somewhere?
I saw pictures of it.
Okay.
It's just like this little black
Okay.
thing. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Anyway, it looked pretty fake. This is
Oh, there he is. There he is. Like jumps at you,
It's a flying cop? What the heck? When pigs
and then
fly.
he lands. Oh, I
Oh,
get it.
yeah, I assume that's the joke, yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
actually want that
you
guy
got
to.
it.
I actually want him to spawn because he usually drops a weapon, and it's pretty good.
You should go back inside the house and see if you can snipe them from the window with that rifle.
Alright.
I wonder if they'll go into the house. Can we shoot you through that? Get off of my property.
This is the libertarian dream, I tell you.
This guy lives in a pretty nice house, though. It's messing up your screen now, though. Holy crap, their lasers go through the walls. It's just like those secret laser weapons that the feds use. Is that another one of the giant ones? Oh yeah, it sure is.
Yeah. Okay, more of that.
Do you ever have to drop
Where
weapons?
where are the snipers? Jesus Christ. I don't know if you can drop weapons, but
I thought you had a bazooka. That would have been perfect for all of them grouped together like that.
no, not on this run. Oh, they got me.
Or I should
Yeah.
I should say, shit.
Kuso. Let's see. 30 points.
They glow in the dark. You see them at night when you're driving.
She's pretty hot.
She do be fine though, for real, no cap. Would you a fed? Bullets don't hurt me, Tyrone.
This game would be good with like mouse macros, just so you don't have to click for every shot. Don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you've got basically endless ammo. You're probably not going to burn through that ammo anytime soon, so.
Like his gun is so inaccurate, you have to like get point blank anyway, so.
Oh yeah, so the guy in New York, so he's a Republican running for governor, right? In New York?
Yeah, which like he
not
has
gonna
no chance
happen.
anyway.
Yeah. So it kind of, the impression I got was that it was a stunt to try to get more attention. But anyway, speaking of stunts to get more attention, AOC at the protest, you told me she pretended to be handcuffed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. She sure likes
Attention? Yeah.
Yeah, she does stuff like that. Like that time she went to like the border and like posed by the border, like holding the border wall and crying and stuff.
Except that wasn't the border wall, it was like some parking lot.
It wasn't. Was it a facility? Is it like?
Yeah, it was a facility, and she wasn't like at the cages. She was like outside the parking lot, looking at, just cars and stuff. So
It's a fence, though. Fences are a sign of oppression.
that's right. This is just like Nazi Germany when they tried to keep the Jews out. Okay, here we go. 2.
Oh
There
man!
we go. One shots
He
him.
flips that car over. Look at me. I'm a unit.
What are you quoting when you say that?
Oh, there's this it was that guy who didn't want to get out of his car, and what ended up happening? I think they. It wasn't the one who got shot by the female cop, I don't think. Or was it?
The guy when she was like taser, taser, and then shoots him as he's like driving away.
Yeah. I don't
I don't
think that.
particularly like cops,
Yeah, me either.
and that didn't help.
Yeah. Um, so even though I'm being sarcastic about this, um, this game I do find a little bit cathartic, so to speak.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, um, do you drop a weapon for you?
Yeah.
Uh,
Another. Oh,
oh,
an
nice
AR.
rifle. Okay. So it wasn't that one. It was this other one. Dude, it was a person of color, as you might guess. Was the cops wanted him to get out of his car, and he wouldn't do it, and he was like arguing a bunch of BS about his rights or whatever. Which I'm pretty sure they can tell you to get out of your car. And
Yeah.
I don't think.
They don't care about your rights either.
Yeah, they'll take it. They'll definitely take advantage of you if you don't know what your rights are. But I'm pretty sure if they pull you over and tell you to get out of your car, I think you have to do it. Oh, you got another rifle. I think the gravity is really low in this game. But he didn't want to, and this cop is looking at him with this very smug, self-assured look on his face, and he appeared to be a pretty big guy, and he was like, "Look at me, I'm a unit, all right."
What?
Yeah, the cop says that to the guy. He's like,
Oh, I thought it was the guy. He's like, "Oh, I'm so big, I'm not gonna get out of the
No,
car."
no, it was the cop. He was like, I'm gonna drag you out of your car by force. And he says
You know,
that with this big smile on this big shit-eating smile on his face. And it just made me think about how like people probably say that to him every day and like enable that behavior. They're like, "Oh man, you're such a unit, bro. You're so cool." And he's like, "Look at me, dude. I'm a unit, all right."
yeah,
Man,
that's annoying. They have such big egos, and like being a cop isn't even that dangerous of a
no,
career.
it's
Like,
not. Be a soldier if you want to prove how much of a badass you are. If you're a cop, your job is to like cause as little trouble as possible. And if a guy's trying to fight you, if he's trying to shoot you, then yeah, go for it. But man, yeah, a lot of these people cause trouble where it isn't necessary, and I think they go out looking for it. A lot of them. I think a lot of them probably get the job hoping to do that kind of thing.
yeah.
Frankly, they need to do a better job of screening those kinds of people in police academy. If they have a personality that is likely to cause problems, they need to be not hiring them for the police force. Though I have heard.
So I remember when I was a kid, like my dad got pulled over because like we were driving home from like Thanksgiving,
All right.
and obviously it was like super snowy, so um like he drifts into another lane a little bit. Like he didn't hit anybody, but he got close. Oh shit.
Oops.
And the cop like pulls him over, and he's like, you know, they're going back and forth, and in the end the cop gives him a ticket. And I remember very distinctly the cop said, "You've been served."
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, bro. And it's really annoying because like these people, like you're probably smarter than them, you know. They probably
Yeah.
got bad grades in school, and now they've been given some power in their life, and now they use it to terrorize random people who make small mistakes.
Yeah, when I think of the kind of guys who wanted to be cops in high school, they're usually dudes who were insecure and wanted to like feel big. Um, and So those are usually the ones who end up doing it. Now, I have known a few good ones, I should say. I have a good friend who's in police academy, who's the nicest person I've ever met. And I knew a guy in my neighborhood growing up who was like, he was some high-ranking officer. He was like, what's his title? Marshal?
Mm.
I don't remember. Anyway, and he was a really good guy as well. So it's probably a minority of them, but it's a significant enough number that you can tell it's a problem. Much like when certain groups have big enough problems that you notice that it's a large group of them. You're not necessarily saying that it's all of them. You're saying that maybe it's a problem. Maybe it's something that you should be talking about. Yeah, yeah.
You move so erratically.
Huh?
You move so erratically. Well,
Yeah, I think this probably isn't.
let me
a
tell you
AAA
this.
game.
In California, the cops can take your possessions
Uh-huh.
at like, you know, if they suspect you didn't like for any reason really. Like there was a lady who was trying to get on a plane with like $1 million or whatever in her briefcase,
Okay.
and the cops just took it.
All right. I'm guessing
Like
she
it,
never
I think
saw
it's
that
called
money
like
again.
civil forfeiture or something. Yeah, obviously. And in California, at least, like the cops take more money from the public than like people get stolen. So like literally, they're worse than the criminals are.
Which that's California as well. So my goodness.
Yeah.
Um, what? So yeah, I'm guessing they took that. They confiscated her briefcase because of
Yeah.
suspicion
Yeah, and then they
of
just kept
whatever,
it,
some
right?
bullshit. And then
Yeah, it's
she
like, oh,
went.
you're
I
trafficking.
assume she went to the city and like said like, "Hey, I wasn't arrested and there isn't any like active uh, court case or whatever. So give me my possession back." And
Yeah.
I'm guessing she probably got back an empty suitcase.
They probably said, fuck off. Just
Yeah,
like how, if red flag laws get implemented, your guns will be taken, and then when you ask for them back, they'll say, fuck off.
yeah. Or oh man, what was that one guy's name? I'm not doing anything, so I can just open my my folder. Let's go into my cops folder, which is a subfolder of, you can probably guess which board. Have them organized by boards. Duncan Lemp.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Uh,
The guy that says get fucked on his, ejection
oh
port.
no, that's Philip Brailsford. I remember him as well. Yeah, everybody look up Philip Brailsford as well. That's something you need to know about. We should
That one
talk
wasn't
about
talked about much at all.
we should talk about him as well. Okay, no, Duncan Lemp was the victim. Aspiring young tech engineer. Let's see, in early morning hours of March 12th, 2020, a Montgomery County SWAT team entered his dwelling to serve a high-risk warrant related to supposed firearms. This was a red flag thing. So somebody, I assume a neighbor or something, knew that he had guns or something. Okay,
Is that the one in New York?
Where's Montgomery?
I don't know.
Where is Montgomery? I don't remember what state that's in. Alabama.
Okay.
Which, that's weird. That's a red state, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They'll
Yeah,
fuck you up.
yeah, I said that. Yep. So, high risk warrant related to supposed firearms offenses. They shot and murdered him. And his supposed crime was that he possessed firearms. Um, Wait, what? Oh, this is in
Wait,
Maryland. Okay, Montgomery County in Maryland, I guess. Okay,
okay.
this wasn't in Alabama. That makes more sense. I was like, what? This happened in Alabama? This was in Maryland. Okay. They deemed his firearms illegal and they murdered him for having them. Um, and the SWAT team showed up with fully automatic short barrel rifles. Yeah,
Oh
and
no, he has a gun. I'm so scared. I
to
still
add,
wear my armor and have my machine gun.
I feared for my life. Yeah, what happened
Yeah.
to add to that, a detail they didn't include is the cops showed up, and he was in his house asleep with his girlfriend in his bedroom, and they started firing at him through the window from outside
Yeah,
the
they
house.
shot him through the window in his sleep.
Yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
cops can do to you in a lot of blue states. Surprisingly, it's weird. You like they talk about police like it's them oppressing minorities or whatever. Um, won't say that that never happens. It is kind of funny. We started this video like ironically talking about like police brutality, but we're actually there in many cases this actually is a problem. Um, uh,
Well, I don't.
in
Okay, so a
yeah,
lot of time it's over marijuana too, which frankly is less dangerous than alcohol is.
yeah, honestly, if you're going to be addicted to one or the other, definitely choose weed.
Come on.
I
Oh my
think.
God.
Oh,
I'm dead. Oh, I'm not dead.
it is. Wait, never mind. We are all good. Um, and speaking of marijuana, you should look up. Our vice president's history of incarcerating people over marijuana. Actually, look up a video of Tulsi Gabbard talking about it. That was pretty great. Anyway, Philip Brailsford. I think I have one on him in this folder as well, but I probably don't need it. I can probably recite the whole thing to you just by memory. That was in Arizona, if I remember right. This cop, they get called to on because somebody had seen a guy with a firearm and said that he was pointing it out of a window at a hotel. This dude was like a exterminator, a pest exterminator, and it was like a little pellet gun that he used for his work. They come, they're yelling at the guy and somebody else who was in the hotel room with him to crawl on the ground to them. He was like drunk and he's crying and saying, "Don't shoot me." And dude, on a power trip, obviously, is yelling, if you lower your hands, we will shoot you. Now crawl. He's crawling towards him, and he's wearing some like little like basketball shorts, and they start falling down while he's. Oh, here comes the big guy. Can you
Oh, fuck.
crouch?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I did bad that time.
You probably only got punk ass bitch nigga this time. Oops, I said the N word. It's okay. It's a term of endearment.
You're not allowed to say it. Only rappers can say it.
You guys don't know what race I am. You can't tell what race I am by my voice. And if you think that you can tell what race I am by my voice, then you're a racist. So you don't know whether or not I'm allowed to say certain terms of endearment. Anyway. Okay, so his like basketball shorts start sagging down the cop, and the cop unloads on him with his AR. This guy, and like you mentioned, this particular AR that this guy was using had "get fucked" inscribed into the like the inside of the
dust port cover, or the dust cover for the ejection port.
yeah. And they refused to. I think they restrained that from being shown in court because they said it would they were worried it would cause bias from the jury. Um,
What? Why? Why would that cause bias from the
yeah,
jury?
they don't,
Here's the weapon he
you
used.
wouldn't want evidence to cause bias for the jury. Anyway,
It's okay.
so
The police union will defend him regardless.
yeah, in court, the guy gets up and is crying and talking about how he feared for his life. Um,
Sure.
he did get I think he got fired, but he obviously didn't have any legal repercussions. And then, get this, he got rehired and put on medical leave. So he doesn't work as a cop anymore, but he's still making tax money. And the medical leave, the premise for the medical leave is that
He has
he
PTSD.
has PTSD from this event where he murdered a man. So
Yeah.
that's why he's on medical leave, making having his bills paid by the people of Arizona because he murdered a man. Um, that's one of the worst ones. I know these are isolated cases. Frankly, there are probably more of them though that just don't get media attention. Um,
Well, Duncan Lemp got hardly any. So
yeah, yeah, because he was white. Um, Anyway, that stuff makes my blood boil, man. If I ever meet Philip Brailsford, he is in for a freaking clapping of his ass cheeks.
don't say that.
I'm
Can't
going
give him any heads up.
I'm 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 going to become his gay lover if I ever meet him. I'm allowed to say that, right? He
Yeah, you can say that.
he
That's progressive.
I'm gonna ask him out on a date, kind of like they do in jail. If I ever meet him,
And then make him yo a bitch.
Philip Brailsford, where you and me are gonna have some progressive lovemaking if I ever meet you. uh, One more that came to mind. There were these cops. Do I have it in this folder? I don't think so. This was just a video I saw one time. They were walking through some random dude's yard, and he let his dog out, and the dog comes running at them as a dog would, and it's like I think it was a black lab, and they shot the dog, and the dude started freaking out, understandably, and they're like, "Hey, back off!" They're yelling at the guy to back off, and
Hey, man, we shot your dog.
hey,
You shouldn't be
Stuck,
mad.
quit acting aggressive. They didn't shoot the guy to their credit. They had the restraint to not shoot the guy for being mad that they shot his dog. Um, uh, and I think I read that the reason they were walking through this dude's yard was to get to this other yard nearby where there had been some kind of drug bust, and it had already happened. Like it was already settled, and I guess they just went out for a joyride and decided they were going to play like secret agent, play like SWAT team, play SWAT raid, and walk through random people's yards. And then some random dude's dog was upset about him being in their yard, understandably, and they shot it.
How dare your dog do what dogs do
Yeah.
when we walk through your yard?
Yeah, maybe don't walk through people's fucking yards. Anyway.
It's bad because like um
Hey,
left leaning or right leaning people like reflexively defend
yeah,
cops.
yeah. And here's the problem when this stuff happened, which shit's.
Roasted. Is that how many cops he killed?
Maybe she won't be mad about this game. um, when this kind of stuff happens, the town, I forgot if I already said that, the town, the city, and the state will bend over backwards to back them up. They make excuses for them. Like that female cop who shot the dude, they're like, there was a unintentional discharge.
Hey, let's switch.
Alright. Gotta set up my thing real quick. There was an unintentional discharge, and a man, unfortunately, was caught in the crossfire.
Yeah.
They never have any real repercussions when this kind of stuff happens, and that's the worst part of it. In my opinion, cops should be held more accountable than anybody else because they're supposed to be the ones enforcing the law. Oh wait, hold on.
Nope.
Yeah, no, they get a slap on the wrist every time. That one, well, while we're talking about all this, you remember that one woman who, like, walked into her neighbor's apartment and
shot the
shot
guy
him.
while he was eating ice cream? Yeah, I remember that.
And was like, oh, well, I thought it was my apartment and that he was in my apartment, and then he failed to follow orders. So that's why I shot him.
I don't know how exactly you don't recognize your apartment when you walk into it.
Yeah,
because
there's
like,
probably different furniture. There's probably different shit on the walls and stuff. And maybe if there's a random dude in your apartment eating ice cream, you should be your first reaction.
You should say.
Your first reaction
like,
should be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And if he says something like, "Hey, get the hell out of my apartment," which I assume is what he's.
How did she get in? Was the door just unlocked?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she broke in. Yeah, you'd think I assume it was locked, and her key didn't work. I assume.
I'm guessing it was just unlocked.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So she walks in and then shoots. And so my assumption is she just didn't like her neighbor and murdered him, and then used her authority as a cop as an excuse.
Yeah.
She got something like 8 years, I think.
Well, at least she got something.
She got something. That at least she didn't get away scot-free. That's something, but my goodness. And some other guy got like 30 or 40 or 50 years for shooting a police dog. In contrast, that's another little image macro I have here that I was just looking at.
Our brave heckin' Doggerino.
Our heckin' Doggerino. I'm ready to switch.
Go ahead.
As soon as you're. No, I'll wait till you. I'll wait till you.
Till I die?
Yeah, wait till you die. Maybe this will be your high score, and you'll finally achieve the title of king. So yeah, we have serious problems in our system. Unironically. Know what I think would be a good solution? They should only let veterans be police.
I don't know if that'll help too much, but
then it'll only be people. It won't be people who are out looking for trouble. Well, hopefully, there probably will still be some, but it won't be people who are looking to like prove their manhood. Still got rapper, which a rapper is a pretty high title in such societies. So
that's true.
So
okay,
not too shabby.
Not bad.
Okay. So
it's like a Payday, but slightly worse made.
You can probably hear my laptop singing over there. I tried to put it as far away from the microphone as possible. But the deal with this game is it only works on Linux. You know what? I don't want to do this map actually.
That game was cathartic, actually.
You know what? I don't want to do that map. I'm gonna do the other one. This one. This game only works on Linux. If you play it on Windows, it's on Steam. It's called Super Crate Box. If you play it on Windows, it goes in super speed, and you can't play it properly. and so I had to hook up my other computer. So I actually don't make points for killing the most guys. I have to get as many crates as possible, which is non-intuitive. You think that you should be trying to kill dudes, but sometimes you realize you haven't gotten any new crates for a while. I'm not doing super good. I haven't played this a lot lately. I just picked it up again just to do a stream. Here we go. Fire! Burn! Fire! Burn! And just do this forever. I don't think anybody can get past it. I haven't figured out how to get audio to work through the capture card, though. Ah! Well, I ended up unexpectedly getting into a big conversation about cops. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Were you talking to the other person? This girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that that's your girlfriend, so whatever. Okay.
Yeah, she just wanted to know what's for dinner.
Okay. I wonder what's for dinner.
Great. I'll grab my stuff.
An octorok. That's what you should have told her.
Yeah.
Ah, crap! It lags a little bit every once in a while.
It's... I don't know. I've never, like, heard of this game, so...
I'll just say Austin. I don't think anybody's going to go dox him and rape him because I said that. Was
I
super...
think they should be more afraid of that happening to them if
yeah.
they found out who he was.
Yeah, if you go to his house, it's more likely it'll be the other way around. He was super into this in high school.
He's just as autistic as we are, so
Yes.
he gets obsessed with things.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he gets really into something and does it obsessively, similar to us.
Yeah.
So, what else was there? Biden says he has cancer.
Yeah, he said he has cancer.
Didn't somebody then like try to correct him or whatever? Like they were like,
Yeah.
no, he doesn't.
Yeah, the White House says that he doesn't have cancer. He has COVID. So
Do I believe
Okay.
Biden or do I believe the White House? 'Cause Biden is kind of retarded, so he might say stupid stuff sometimes that isn't true. But he sometimes accidentally admits the truth because of being the way he is. And
Yeah.
I would expect the White House, the official statement of the White House, to just be a lie by default. You can usually assume it's a lie.
yeah.
I'm doing okay this time.
Yeah, even it doesn't matter who's in either. It's just a lie.
Yeah, usually.
So yeah. So AOC pretended to be handcuffed. Lee Zeldin had a slow motion assassination on him, I guess.
We love our political theater. We love our great American political theater. We put on the best theater of anyone. No one does political theater like Americans.
That's right. That's right.
Don't you... I don't know if we've talked about this before. Just like the way politicians talk when they're doing speeches and public statements and stuff, the way they talk down to you like you're 2 years old. Like,
That's what people like.
We know that there was an incident with our email server
We're very sorry. Email security is very important to us. Okay, we love email security, and we love you. It's like they
Yeah.
think we're children. I mean, maybe they are right about a lot of people because apparently it seems to work a lot of, at least on a lot of people. But
Well, modern society seems to be treat
right?
children like adults and adults like children. So
Yeah. Um, I still got through
that
that.
da 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 da.
That wasn't too bad.
Start spreading the news.
Um,
Hmm. So, what else happened this week?
yeah, so maybe Biden has cancer. So maybe he'll die faster than we expected. I'm frankly surprised that he lived this long. When he was
Yeah.
first elected, I assumed there was going to be like an accidental falling down of stairs within like the first couple months of him in office. And for better or worse, he's still alive, which we get Kamala if he dies. So it's whatever. Biden
Yeah.
with Biden, we at least have the advantage of him accidentally admitting the truth sometimes due to being like delirious and having Alzheimer's or whatever.
Mike Pence. Is he really like thinking that he can run for president? I'm pretty sure he's lower than some Democrats. Like he has lower preference than
It's
some
like
Democrats.
that's like Romney trying to run for president again. Can you imagine?
No.
I wouldn't be terribly surprised, but I assume, maybe if he ran as a Democrat, he might have a chance.
Yeah. Well, except the Democrats don't like him either.
Well, they like him more than conservatives do now. Have you ever like noticed all the people now who like say, "Oh, Romney's not too bad. He's reasonable." It's always liberals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that was bad luck. I assume if he was running against dedicated Democrats, he would probably lose pretty easy. So you're right, but like, I think he has more fans on the left than he has on the right now. Oh.
Well, like, what
Too
do you
fast.
do?
Too
'Cause-
fast for me. I'm too slow. Come on.
Him and Liz Cheney are. I don't know if there's any.
Hey,
Maybe
look, I'm
there's
Tyrone.
some right-wing people who are like living under some rocks who still like them, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably largely consisting of people who they pay.
And if you watch Tim Pool or any like mainstream media, they're like, oh, the Republicans, wink wink, should all wink wink, hey, nudge nudge. They should all pick DeSantis as their candidate for the presidency next time.
Who does? The liberals?
Yeah, well, like Tim Pool and
Oh, got
the
it.
corporate media, they're like, ooh, DeSantis would be such a good president.
I mean, I think he's cool, I guess, but I'm pretty sure they're saying that because they're trying to move. Oops. They're trying to move attention away from the obvious front runner.
Yeah.
There's some of my more
Well,
kind of
I don't think
mainstream.
they know how to. I think they know how to beat DeSantis. I don't think they know how to beat Trump.
other, other than the method they used in 2020, which they probably prefer to avoid if possible.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, that's super weird how all these elections keep doing that. When the Republicans are winning, you get some surprise votes that we found under the table.
yeah, it's so weird. It happened in a couple of the. I prefer to
You
slowly. There's a bit of more contrast with the background.
You silly idiots.
Isn't that
I
weird?
told you not to put your votes all under this table. Good thing I checked after everyone left for the night.
Don't worry,
Well, we.
we did a recount without any Republicans present,
Yeah.
with the same people who counted the original ones. So it's all good. Come on, conspiracy theorists. Come on. Come on. That wouldn't happen in America. Come on. It's America. What would George Washington say?
George Washington would say, I love America and we need socialized medicine.
Yeah, that's
probably
what
what he'd say. And he'd say, what the heck is this AR-15 doing in my good country?
It's like, whoa.
We need a
I didn't
ban
think more advanced firearms than what we had in my day would ever be invented. Well, now let's repeal the Second Amendment, actually. It was a bad idea.
It was so wrong. We just made a we just wrote that in on accident.
We didn't think more advanced technology would be invented. More advanced weaponry, of all things, would be invented. That's never happened before.
Yeah. We should go back to using spears and swords.
Yeah.
Then we can ban those too.
Really?
Then we can ban narwhal horns.
Yeah, it's like over in the UK.
Yeah. Fire
Oh
extinguisher
no!
and a narwhal horn.
People replaced firearms with knives. We could have never seen that coming. And then now they're trying to ban knives as well. At least they're consistent. At least they really believe in their ideology. Oh.
The ideology that the TV told them to believe in. Now we're good.
Well,
citizen.
I'm like, at least they're saying they're going to apply the same standard to knives that they tried to apply to guns. They're like, well, just keep banning weapons as long until there are no weapons left. Nobody will ever
ban rocks.
We'll ban rocks.
Rocks and sticks.
We'll ban fists. Well, yeah, everyone will have to have their hands cut off.
We can ban those little Batman batarang knife puncher thingies.
Yeah.
That way our officials won't get assassinated.
Somebody tell the English politicians that knives are kind of easy to make. Like, the cavemen invented them pretty fast.
I mean, guns are easy to make, realistically.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a 3D printer.
A lot of people have figured out how to make guns as well, as it turns out. The guy still managed to make a homemade shotgun in Japan, which is one of the most gun-regulated countries on Earth.
Yeah.
But that's like somebody who's an expert, though. Anybody can make a knife. Anybody can take a stick and sharpen it. Anybody can take, like, a butter knife and sharpen it on something slightly harder.
Yeah, on the concrete outside.
Yeah, go take a butter knife and sharpen it on the concrete outside. Are they going to confiscate butter knives? You can take a...
Be 18 in order to buy this butter knife.
You can take a spoon and sharpen it into a knife. So obviously that's not going to go anywhere. They can keep barking up that tree forever. People are still going to figure out ways to kill each other.
And swords and bicycle wheels.
Then you guys are so brave, English police.
British. All British. We can't have this on the street here, can we?
Good British police protecting us from those bike wheels.
Yeah.
Well, what's all this then?
Why my brother was killed by a bicycle wheel in gang violence. Good thing we have the brave British police to protect them, to protect us from hate crimes or perceived hate crimes.
Do they have civil forfeiture in Bongland, do you think?
I don't know. I did actually read their some of their legal documents for hate crimes, though, because I did this presentation in school one time for about free speech, and it has that's the language of it. They talk about anything that is prejudiced based on gender or gender identity or sexual identity or race or all the other stuff, a whole list of things, or perceived to be so. That's the wording in their legal documents.
Perceived.
Yeah, so basically up to the discretion of the judge, I assume, or maybe the police. No, probably not the police. Probably whatever bureaucratic organization they have managing that. Then all they have to do is perceive it to be so, and that's premise for you going to jail over it or paying a fine over it or whatever. So that's the end game of when they're like, we just want to protect our trans people, our poor black people, from being told these racial slurs, being told these offensive things.
Well, we just,
What are you-
at least we can go to school without our kids getting shot up every day, innit?
Yeah, if only we lived in Bongland where they were protected from extremists.
Not from getting your head. Well, that's France. I shouldn't say that.
Well, your kids might be picked up by like refugee grooming gangs, and it won't ever be reported because they wouldn't want people to be prejudiced. They wouldn't want like it to result in people being racist or whatever.
Right.
So
you gotta hide it.
yeah, you gotta hide
No
the
one
truth
can
from
talk
people
about
sometimes,
this.
because sometimes the truth is dangerous. Sometimes you can't handle the truth, so you have to protect
can't
people
handle
from the truth.
Yeah.
Like if, for example, like Syrian refugees happen to be committing more sexual crimes than people from your country, like that knowledge could result in racism. Like, that could result in people promoting racist ideology. So even if it's like true, you don't want people to be knowing about it. Ah, crap.
I see. I see.
That's how it
I
is.
see.
You have to go to college to understand these kinds of things. If you're not college educated, you might think that like racism is just about, not liking someone because of their skin color or something. But they'll teach you to really understand these kinds of things when you go to college. It's a very nuanced subject.
Yeah.
We need experts, we need people who studied racism in college to explain it to us.
I mean, I think I get the rules. It's basically if you're white, you can't be racist. No, if you're white, you're always racist.
Yeah,
If you're
you're
not
white, you're racist, and you have to
then
apologize for
you're-
it constantly.
Yeah.
And if you're not white, well, there are like varying degrees of whiteness. It's like I've started to hearing that Asians are white adjacent. So,
Right.
so Asians probably won't. They'll start being racist here pretty soon as well.
Oh yeah. They're all so racist. Everyone's racist. We just it's if you're allowed to legally be racist.
Yeah.
Not legally as in law definition, but like by the rules of society, if you're allowed to be racist. You're racist if society says you are.
Yeah. It do be like that sometimes, and this is why we need to fight police brutality and oppression.
Which is what Tyrone does.
Yeah.
I'm still debating if I should refund that game or not.
Can you refund
Is
games
it-
on Steam?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I do have one or two that I need to do that for.
If you played less than 2 hours of it,
Oh, okay, never
and
mind.
within a certain
Never mind.
amount of time, you can. But you know,
I did.
you know how it is.
Oh, crap.
Some kind of crate box man.
What's this? Oh, I got the sword. Ah. Get closer. I want to hit them with my sword.
This is some kind of video game. Hmm. Da, 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 da. Start spreading the news.
Yeah, there's one game that I have in my library that I probably won't play anymore. That is Outlast 2. I don't know if I've gone on my rant about horror games. Oh, one of the skull things got... Oh, crap.
Hmm.
What the heck? I think a lot of horror games and movies go for low-hanging fruit, which is just being, like, as shocking as possible, like as much blood and gore and disgustingness as possible, which I think... Oh, that was stupid of me. Which is degenerate, first of all, and also it's not really scary. And I think of something really scary, I think of like Amnesia. Which Amnesia had some pretty nasty stuff in it as well, but it was also scary without it.
Yeah.
The main scary thing wasn't like the gross stuff, like when you like have memories
drill
of
into a guy's head or whatever.
yeah, or we have memories of like torturing a dude, and like murdering children and stuff. And it didn't really show that either. In fact, there aren't a lot of really. It implies it with like the audio dialogue, but you don't really see it. So it's much less so than other stuff. The one that I'm talking about, Outlast 2. I really liked Outlast 1. Thought it was really good. Very, very scary. Scariest game I've played, probably. And Outlast 2, they depended a whole lot on the shock stuff. And like gross gore, Satanism, there's lots of disgustingness throughout the game. And like, I don't want to play games or watch movies to be grossed out. I don't like the Saw movies, and that doesn't count as horror to me. It's just like snuff. It's just, I don't know, shock. People want to shock themselves as much as possible. And I've tried to avoid that now. I used to, when I was younger. I think a lot of guys especially try to like prove their manhood by like being like, oh yeah, I can not be bothered by that stuff. Maybe you should be bothered by that stuff though. Maybe there's something wrong with you if you're not bothered by it. Which, like, people confuse strength with numbness a lot of the time, when numbness isn't actually strength. It's just removal of something that you're supposed to have by unnaturally subjecting yourself to it. So, anyway, yeah, like on /B back in the day, I would see that kind of stuff and try to like prove my manhood by watching it or looking at it or whatever. But I don't do that anymore. I try to avoid it. So I think that stuff's nasty, and I avoid it as much as I can.
So, you know, there's a trope that I'm actually getting pretty sick of pretty fast in media. And that's the, oh, what if Superman was evil? And like we've seen it with Invincible, and we've seen it with The Boys, with Homelander, and we saw it in the new Doctor Strange movie. Like it's like, oh, okay, here's the superhero, and they're bad, and they kill you in violent ways, right?
Yeah.
Like it's getting old fast in a way that I don't fully understand why, but it's like I don't
It's
know. It
they're
it's the
doing it too
same every
much.
time for one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing it too much, first of all. I also think maybe there's a reason for that kind of stuff um,
Mm.
in Hollywood. Similar to, I think I talked about this before, how they're making all these movies that portray, they rewrite them with the villain as actually just being misunderstood and being a good guy.
Yeah, it's like a cheap way to add depth. Well,
Yeah.
not depth, but like
Well,
to
yeah, they're
raise the
trying to be,
stakes.
they're like, oh, like, you just didn't, you were just a sheeple and you didn't understand. And here's the real story. Um,
Yeah. Well, with the violence of in superhero stuff, it comes from like trying to raise the stakes. It's like, oh, look how dangerous he is. He killed all these other super powerful people, no
uh,
problem.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you were talking about
And
that in one of that.
like I liked it in Invincible, but it's every consecutive time that I see it, it's I don't know. Well, I think in Invincible it's a little bit different because he's trying to hide it, but in like The Boys, it's just gore porn, really.
Mm. If I think it fit for Invincible, although you're right, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, what if Superman was evil? Um,
Yeah. Well, that is the whole premise of Invincible. Like if
yeah.
you listen to the authors, that's where they came up with the idea
To be
for
fair, though,
Invincible. It's like,
the
what if
comic was
Superman is
like
invincible and Superboy has
90s.
to stop him?
The comic was like 90s to early 2000s, right? So it's
Um,
kind of before all these Marvel movies were doing it.
when did that come out? Invincible issue 1. It came out in 2003, so it's
2000.
pretty
Okay.
damn old, but it's not 90s.
Okay. Early 2000s.
Yeah,
Um,
2000s.
oh, man, that takes a minute to relate.
Those were simpler days. Or at
Yeah.
least I remember them as simpler days, and therefore they were.
I think things were better in the early 2000s than they are now. If we could have just froze there, it would have been alright. Although, that was when the Bush administration was, as well. Super, super corrupt administration. George
Yes
Bush
and
and Dick
no.
Cheney.
Like, I would have liked. I remember back then, one thing that I really enjoyed was like the advancing of computer technology.
Yeah,
I
now look
don't
what we
like
got.
where operating systems have gone, but the hardware's gotten significantly better.
That's true. Can't go wrong with hardware.
With
Except
if
how
we
they're
just
starting to make
kept
the drivers.
Windows XP,
Honestly, I want a computer with Windows XP. Not joking.
yeah,
Um, maybe as a side computer, and my main computer would have Windows 7. I got, um, man, yeah, we've had a loss of beauty in our society. I think I was going to go somewhere like that with when we were talking about movies and video games and stuff. Oh yeah, I remember. I'll go back to that in a second. This fits really well as well. Windows 7 was so nice and aesthetically pleasing, and like its interface was comfortable to use, much more than Windows 10, and heaven knows more than Windows 10, and much more than Windows 11. Windows 11 is a nightmare. I hate Windows 11.
like they made the taskbar worse. Like you just see the icon, you don't see the title of whatever it is. You
Yeah.
know, and it's like
And
okay.
it's ugly, man. They changing technology to like all of like websites all are adapting like the Twitter CSS style page, like
Yeah.
the bubbles and the not pop-ups, they're pop-ups, but like the round edges and the like childish interface and very very simple, so a child can use it. Very very mobile like. Oh, that wasn't normal. I thought it was the revolver.
Yeah. Get rid of all the sharp edges and
Yeah, and
use bright
I made.
colors.
There's a way you can get Windows 7 still if you're willing to risk the forced obsolescence that they're doing on it.
Yeah, the security holes that they deliberately leave open.
Yeah, which they're probably going to. I upgraded because I was worried. Actually, the Windows 10 came out in like 2015, 2016. That was when I switched to it, and that was before I was really skeptical of Microsoft.
It'd be really nice if we could like find like if we could somehow get Windows XP onto a GNU license and then just update it to work with modern stuff.
Yeah.
That would probably be the best operating system
That would be
out
cool.
of everything. But
Anyway, there's a way you can still get Windows 7. I think the website was PC Destination. Problem is the drivers won't work, so you'll have to get like WinZip drivers thing or something to make the drivers work. But if you're somewhat good with computers, you can get it working. And I did that for a computer. One of my mom's, one of her old laptops. She has this laptop for her work that's like all souped up with like this jail locks stuff that she can only use it for certain things. She can't like download stuff from the internet, and she can't insert external drives into it. Anyway, so she wanted to got one of her old laptops to work so she can use it for recreational stuff, and I put Windows 7 on it. Just because she doesn't really care as long as like Office and stuff works on it, which you can get one of the old versions of Office on that same website. But anyway, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. I need to drain the swamp here a little bit.
you know, LibreOffice actually works really well. I don't know if it works on Windows 7, but
It's okay.
it's pretty
I use
nice.
it on Linux sometimes, and it's okay. But anyway, when I managed to get it set up, which was a bit of a chore, but I was like, man, I'm a little jealous that my mom's gonna have this computer and not me, because it's so nice. Like I felt when you had a Windows 7 computer, you felt like it was your own. Like you didn't have to log into your online Microsoft account. You can create like as many guest accounts on it as you want. It has like its own internal system that doesn't run through OneNote. Its folder system is like nice and compact. It doesn't have all these bloated folder system in it. Yeah, I feel like, especially with Windows 11, they've tried to make it more and more like a mobile interface as possible. My goodness.
Yeah.
Which is
Like,
horrible.
I mean, Windows really doesn't have a hold on the mobile market, which
Yeah.
is maybe what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that was what they were trying to do with Windows 8, and they should have learned their lesson with Windows 8, but they clearly didn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just gross. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It's not artistic, which that's the thing that I think we're largely we've lost in Western society. Anyway, the other thing I was going to say when we were talking before about how they're doing all these like villains are actually the bad guy, the villains are actually the good guys, things in movies, which they've done for several things. They've done it for like there's a movie they did for 101 Dalmatians recently. I remember. I think it was called Cruella.
Yeah.
Which was a bust. That people hated it, if I recall correctly. And I watched like one scene from it where like the dogs kill her mom, and it was really stupid. They couldn't have the dogs maul her mom, so they had them like tackle her, and then she fell off a cliff.
Okay.
So They've been doing a lot of these, and I think the reason for it is they're trying Hollywood, and the people who are above Hollywood, if you know what I mean, are trying to subvert the idea of good and evil,
Right.
calling good evil and evil good, and trying to get this idea into people's minds that evil people are actually just misunderstood. Which another big one on that was The Last of Us 2, which I definitely
Yeah.
thought they were doing it
Oh
on
my
that one.
god.
You see these horrible people who do they do this. They like murder this character that you like right before your eyes, and then you have to play as them. And then the moral of the story is that you forgave them. It's horrible. Like
Yeah.
maybe
I mean,
forgiveness. Maybe Jesus forgives people, but like sometimes people deserve justice, and I feel like their idea that they're giving people is that they shouldn't have justice. They should just be forgiven. Anyway.
yeah. Let me ask you this: like, so they clearly have no qualms when they killed Joel or whatever his name was in that
Yeah.
in that game. And it's like, if you let that person continue to live, there's no, like, it's not guaranteed that they won't do that to someone else
Yeah.
for whatever perceived slight they have against them, right? Because it's like,
Oops.
I believe the premise was that Joel stole the main character away from some researchers because her genetics could have been, or something in her could have been used to make the cure or something.
Okay. That's why
But
they
it
killed
would have,
him.
yeah, it would have killed her, so that's why he took her away.
Okay.
But they killed him because of that. So it's like,
So they're definitely not good people.
no, like,
I don't know if it was related to making the cure or whatever. Then I suppose, but anyway,
supposedly making the
it
cure, like,
seems
it wouldn't even be guaranteed technically. Like,
yeah,
you
maybe
don't
making
know.
the cure. Yeah.
If you know for sure that's the cure, then you have the cure already, don't you?
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so they seem to make it with the intention that you hate these characters, and then they force you to play as them, and then they make you, oops, that was stupid of me. Then they make you forgive them at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people wanted to forgive them at the end of the game. I certainly wouldn't.
Well, you don't get the option.
Yeah,
to,
you don't get to kill, what's her name, even if you want to.
Abby.
Abby, yeah.
Abby. I remember her name because she is muscular and abs are muscle. So,
She is Abby, so to speak.
yeah.
So you see that a lot, and one that was on my mind. This week I randomly on YouTube came across some scenes from the old Sleeping Beauty movie, which is from like the 50s or 60s, I think. And I watched that a lot when I was a kid. I really liked that movie. And watching clips from it again, I was thinking, like, my goodness, we had such great artists in our country 50 years ago, and even 20, 30 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, and now everything we make now is soulless and horrible. And they did another movie like that. It was a few years ago. It was like 7 or 8 years ago. They made a movie about the bad guy, the like witch character. She's like pure evil. She's like
Oh, I know what you're talking about. What's it called?
she's like chaotic evil. If you put her on the D&D chart thing. Maleficent is her name.
Maleficent. Yeah, the Maleficent movie.
And
it wasn't even that good of a movie. Like, it wasn't
it was okay.
groundbreaking anyway. Like, it's not going to go down in history as like one of these great classic.
Yeah, and that was one of
movies,
the earlier Disney remakes where they did the villain is actually a good guy thing. It was an unremarkable movie. They kind of everything that was good about the original, they made like kind of silly and sarcastic, which Hollywood does a lot of nowadays.
Yeah.
So it just first of all, the villain forgiveness trend, and secondly, like how things that used to be beautiful are just like stripped down to their skeleton now and made ironic and soulless and stupid. That's the direction our country has gone, our artistic industry in this country.
What would you say the last good Disney movie was?
The
Like the last actually good one?
good Disney movie. That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
When did Frog Princess come out? Or Frog Prince? Frog Princess?
Princess and the Frog?
Princess and the Frog, yeah. That was early 2000s, I think.
That was 2009.
Oh, that's a little surprising. That one was okay. Not like a Renaissance Disney movie, but... And I know it was like, kind of like, oh, hey, here's the Black Princess. We did the Black Princess, guys.
Yeah.
But it was still good. If it's good, I don't care. If they want to do that kind of, which, you know,
Maybe
they're gonna
Tarzan would be my pick.
Tarzan was very good, very good. That was what, 2003, 2004.
Was that might have been 99?
Really?
Yeah, 1999.
Oh, I'm surprised. That was when they were first starting to incorporate 3D software into their animation.
Oh wait, no. Emperor's New Groove was 2000, so maybe we can.
Emperor's New Groove was a really good movie. I definitely can't out that one. Are you looking at the list right now?
Yeah.
What else came out after that?
Atlantis.
Atlantis was very good. That's right. That was.
Do you count Pixar movies though?
Yeah, probably. Isn't Pixar a subgroup of Disney?
Yeah. So Monsters Inc. was 2001.
When was Toy Story? That was like 2002 or 2003, I think.
Toy Story's older than that.
90s?
Yeah. So, I think it's 95.
Oh.
Yep, 1995.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad I have that useless information in my brain.
I remember watching that when I was pretty little. Oh, you know what? Toy Story.
They have a very strong track record of making horrible sequels, though. Like
Disney?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they-
Lion King 2,
Yeah.
101 Dalmatians 2, Jungle Book 2. Just
Yeah, that's right. I remember Jungle Book 2. That one definitely wasn't one of the good ones. There are a couple.
Oh.
There are a couple sleeper hits though. There was a sequel to Aladdin that was just as good as the first one.
Really?
Yeah, it's.
I've never seen it.
It's about. I actually have trouble. I mix up the first one and the second. The first one was The Hand of Midas, and the second one was the.
You know what bothers me is that YouTubers call themselves content creators when they're not creating anything. You're playing a video game, dude. You're not making anything.
Hey,
the guy who made the
this
video
is-
game made something.
Yeah, that's true. This is a great. Our stream is really good. Look at how I'm entertaining these people right now. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here stuck with this shitty weapon, with all these big dudes coming down, and I can't
Well-
get to the box. Okay, I might sell.
It's
this
also a
still.
buzz term too, like content creator. Oh, I want to be a content
It is
creator.
very soulless as well. I don't want to be a content creator. I want to be an artist.
Yeah, like I would consider myself a quote content creator, but that's because I'm working on a video game.
Yeah.
And you know, you have your musical passions that you hopefully can pursue.
Yeah.
But doing the stream isn't
Yeah.
content, because we're playing games that other people made. That's the content. We
Yeah.
didn't create that content.
Well,
We're more like
maybe
a
we say
refinement.
unfunny stuff sometimes, but like this isn't really art. It's
Yeah.
entertainment, but not art. I would say.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So anyway, what was I talking about right before that? Oh wait, we're talking about
Talking
Disney.
about Disney movies, yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the first and second Aladdin was. In the second one, they're about to get married, and then it gets sabotaged. I think that's the one with. Oh no, wait. The Hand of Midas is the second one. What's the first? Oh, the first one's Jafar. Duh. Yeah, first one's Jafar. The second one is his dad. They have to go find his dad, who's like the leader of the 40 Thieves. It's very good. See, I was having trouble remembering which one was the first and second because they're about equal in their quality. Anyway, those were both in like the 90s, I think. I'm remembering now though. Toy Story 3 was quite good. Toy Story 4 was whatever. It was kind of. I saw it. That was like 2019, I think. I saw it with some of my siblings.
Yeah. Toy Story 4?
Toy Story 4. There was a 4, yeah, just a couple years
Oh.
ago.
Oh, I didn't even know.
It was. Here's the thing. It made me choke up a little bit, but like it was only because they took advantage of your nostalgia for the older ones.
Right.
Because I grew up with that movie. I was a kid. I watched a bunch when I was a kid, and so
Yeah.
they do all these like cheap.
I'm trying to pinpoint the point where Disney became soulless. And I think it's sometime
like
around 2012. Like, obviously
Yeah.
they made good stuff
yeah.
since then, but like,
Well, Hollywood in general kind of lost its. They lost their artistic spark kind of in the late O's and early tens. There is still a handful of good movies.
I don't know if that's because of our rose-tinted. Like, I'm trying to be like unbiased here, but like
Well, you go
at the
back.
same time, it's like clearly there's like the themes are clearly different.
You can watch old movies that we didn't grow up with as well. Well, there is
Yeah.
like the old, only the good ones will be remembered once you get to stuff from like 40 or 50 years ago. That's part of
Yeah.
it. But still, as a general trend, like look at the big popular movies, for example. Like, how would you compare um, Fiddler on the Roof or The Godfather to stuff now like Endgame and Infinity War, that kind of thing. The Thor movies and
Yeah.
the
Like,
Doctor Strange.
everyone
movie.
talked about Endgame is because they killed a bunch of characters. and
Yeah,
that's
same
the thing.
thing.
It's like,
Cheap thrills. They do stuff that they know works, and it's not because not because it's artistically impressive. It's because they followed this formula, and capitalized on commitment to characters that had already been established. So there are still occasional good ones. Like I watched Blade Runner 2049 recently, and I thought it was actually just as good, or maybe even better than the original. And that movie was 2017, if I remember right.
mm, I think 2013 is that date.
Well, it's not a hard cap either. It didn't transform overnight. It was kind of a grading.
Yeah.
And there's still occasional good movies now and then. I saw that.
Like what?
I saw Top Gun, the new Top Gun, with my parents, and it was quite good. And
Okay.
they liked the original, so I haven't seen the original, but my parents might not be as skeptical of modern Hollywood as I am either.
Well, you might be surprised. I mean,
Although I
didn't
have gone off on
is
my.
there like a little scene right when it starts, and it has like Tom Cruise saying, "Yeah, I'm not streaming, this, bitch." This was meant to be seen in movie theaters.
I don't know if he said that. I bet he did, but they did one of those things that they're doing in a lot of movies now, where they had him, like, sitting in an armchair, like thanking people for seeing it in the theaters. Which
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're doing that a lot now, because people aren't going into theaters very much now. Partly
Well,
because their
it's-
movies suck, but
Yeah.
Also because of stuff like Netflix and Disney Plus, it's taking the market away from
Well,
them.
we had to let heckin' stay inside
Yeah,
to stop the
you regret
heckin'
it
end
now,
of world.
huh? Hollywood's getting the shaft in that deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, I was going to mention Incredibles 2 as well as a example of one that was not good, 'cause that reminded me they did that thing where they had all the actors line up and do their spiel at the start of that one. It was okay. Like, it definitely didn't hold a candle to the original. It was not, didn't have the soul, didn't have the, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's just the artistic inspiration. They don't have artistic inspiration anymore. There's no young, talented people in Hollywood anymore. It's all just nepotism and backstabbing in politics and casting couches and degeneracy.
I think that's how things are destined to be in any institution over time.
Yeah, they'll start stagnating, which
Yeah.
makes me think. So we're thinking of like doing our video game stuff and having our own company. Maybe instead of trying to make your company as big as possible, you should break it up into as many tributary companies as possible. Just in anticipation of centralized power being corrupted eventually.
It definitely is an approach, because then maybe that's like the Linux approach, right? Like,
Have
oh,
it,
everyone's
yeah, very
everyone
community built.
Ubuntu is cringe, but if you use Arch or Gentoo or even like base Debian, you'll be considered a proletariat.
Which that's what you want to be.
Yes.
You want
You don't
to
want to be the peasant class using Ubuntu,
Oh,
which is
no,
what I
wait,
use,
wait.
by the way.
Proletariat is the lower class.
Oh,
There's proletariat and bourgeoisie, similar to the plebeians and patricians.
that's the one I'm more familiar with, actually.
Yeah.
I should have just used that.
That's the Romans. What was or Greeks?
Proletariat
No, yeah, I
is
think
the
it's
working
Romans.
class people.
Where'd
I mean,
bourgeoisie?
middle
I
class
think that
used to
came
be
from.
considered above working class.
Yeah,
Now they're
no,
the same.
not anymore with the economy how it is.
There is no middle class anymore, really.
Yeah, there's high class and people who have to work for a
There's
living.
the struggling class and the upper class.
Yeah.
That's really all there is. It's kind of odd too, because like capitalism is a term made by the communists. Like there was no term for it.
I think that's where.
That's just what trade was. It's like you're just trading,
Yeah.
and then the medium was gold, and then it became dollar bills, and then
Yeah. You could say even if they were under monarchy, most societies in history would fall under capitalism economically.
yeah, you could, yeah.
So, I think Marx was the one who coined bourgeoisie and proletariat as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my gosh, that's bad.
Yeah, bourgeoisie meant middle class. I don't know what term he came up for with like upper class, but I don't know. The Soviet Union was just fucked because you would, if you owned a farm of 8 acres, you were considered, like a trader, and so they would redistribute your farm, and then the workers for that farm could buy that farm, and then once you bought that farm, you were a trader because you had the farm, and so it just kept getting fucked up.
Yeah, anybody should see it moving in the direction that it does. Is like you're taking the most productive members of your society and dragging them down as part of your system.
Yeah.
But I think
arguably we try to bring people who are at the bottom up now. I don't
Well,
know if
that's
we
the
have
idea, I
the
suppose.
greatest. Yeah, that's the idea, but our
It,
solution is to throw money at it, which
yeah, the idea is
may not be
the
the.
government is going to fix it and make everybody equal, which doesn't happen. Anytime the government put the government in charge of anything, it's always going to ruin it.
It's always gonna get bloated. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's
Notice
gonna be
how
bloated like Windows 11.
notice
Bitch.
how workers are in any government
Lazy?
agency. Yeah, and
They do the minimal amount of work
yeah, that's the
to not get
employees, and
fired.
then the people who are in charge, well, they do the minimal amount of work anyway, but like then they make the money from taxpayer dollars, and all the money that's being poured into these systems is being burned on bloated administration, usually. Because why wouldn't you if you have power over this organization's budget? And you can just like pocket all of it and have a summer home or whatever
Yeah.
instead of
Like if you have
dedicating it
if you
to
have an organization that's made to solve a problem, then that organization suddenly their interest is in not solving that problem, so the
yeah,
organization can continue
that's
to
part of it.
exist.
And also it's not competitive. So whoever's in charge doesn't have any motive to improve, to compete, or to make their system better. All they have to do is keep it the same and keep their cash cow flowing. And they can say, oh, well, it's not working because we don't have enough money. And then they get more money and they buy a bigger summer home. So that they don't, it's not like a business. It's not, it has no gravity in the direction of becoming competitive. You know, like they're basically depending on people's goodwill, which usually it's not a good thing to gamble on. So the system stagnates. They'll continue using the same system for decades because nobody has any reason to evolve it. Nobody has any motivation to make it better.
Speaking of stagnation, sometimes I wonder if we're in the dying throes of the United States and like it's already dead, but you know how like if you die, your cells will continue to live for a little bit.
The
And we're the
nucleus
cells, and yeah.
the nucleus is dead, but the system will continue pumping blood for a while yet. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
think so.
if you're brain dead and the heart's still running,
Yeah.
maybe that's an accurate descriptor of the United States right now.
Yeah. I think we're about due for some kind of upheaval because like the politicians clearly don't represent the people anymore.
That could never heckin' happen, Reno, because we have advanced technology like Reddit and cell phones and stuff.
We have the most. Here's the boomer take on it. We have the most advanced military ever, so our country could never fall.
Yeah,
We're
except
just
you
invincible.
always have the most advanced military.
Yeah, look at every previous. Oh, that took two of them at the same time. Look at every previous superpower of the world and where they are now. Persia, Syria, Mesopotamia, Rome, Greece. Most recently, the English Empire.
Oi, did you just say something naughty on Twitter?
Yeah.
You're going to
My,
jail,
how the
Mike.
mighty have fallen. Look at what England has become. Yeah. There's always going to be a new big fish in the pond. The people who think that the United States is invincible are people who have watched too many World War II films.
Yeah. People seem to think that it's gonna be China. I'm not
That overtakes us.
sure.
It'll
Yeah.
probably be us
I'm
who
not.
do it to ourselves.
No, like once the United States falls,
Who will
they're
like
thinking
occupy
China's
us.
gonna be the next one.
Oh,
No,
the
no,
next
like
big
just
superpower?
yeah.
China has...
I see their reasoning because it's like, oh, they have the big military, therefore they'll be the next ones. But that's not always what gives you the superpower. Usually it's like you play your cards correctly
Oh, dang it.
economically. So
China's kind of the money house, whereas Russia has the bigger military.
yeah,
So you could have an alliance between them. You know, though, with the United States gone, they would probably just start fighting each other, though.
yeah,
They both want to be the new, like, a lot of times there's a, like, ego thing, like our people, our country. Anyway.
yeah. Again, the guys that watch the World War II movies and
Wow, our boys really saved the day, didn't we?
when really, I
Yeah.
mean, we did
Our
help
good old
secure the
boys.
victory, but frankly, like we came in at the very end of World War
World
II
War II.
and just mopped up.
Rush. The U.S. did kind of change the tides of the war on the Western Front.
Yeah, but really, Russia won.
Russia did most of the work. They had something like 20 times the amount of deaths that we did.
Yeah,
Um,
but they also had a pretty brutal militaristic strategy
yeah, they didn't.
where they where they didn't have enough guns at first. So
Russia just.
first row of guys had guns, row of guys had bullets. You know, pick up some bullets, pick up a gun. There you go. Eventually, they
Yeah,
got going. But, you know, that was
Russia's.
it.
Well, Russia had the Soviet Union going at the time. They didn't like have human rights really, so that was part of the reason.
Speaking of human rights, the Democrats have been trying to codify a couple things, interracial and gay marriage.
Yeah, which that's totally in danger of being repealed. Well, actually, I have to recant that because they were talking about that in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, well, they're saying that well, okay, what state is going to stop them, though? Like, if a black guy and a white girl want to get married, is there any state that's
I meant
going
gay
to...
marriage, but no, interracial marriage. No, nobody's going to touch it. Not even.
Right.
They're like a very fringe group of extremists would be talking about that.
Yeah, if you do that, you might as well just hand over your office
Yeah.
to the other party
Yeah, there's
at that
no way.
point.
Like they don't have any leg to stand on. Not even the majority of Republicans or libertarians would go.
I would say, yeah, this is definitely a losing battle for the Republicans. Like, I think the majority of people are fine with both gay marriage and like, that hasn't even been a thing, the interracial marriage.
Yeah, that hasn't.
That
And
hasn't even been a
nobody's
thing
really
for
talked
decades,
about gay
but
marriage for like the last 10 years.
yeah,
Oops.
but
I was falling into the fire.
they tried to codify it, and I believe they did, but a bunch of Republicans
Yeah,
did not
Republicans
vote
voted
on it.
against it, and they were like, "Oh, look at what the Republicans did," which
The naughty Republican boys.
I didn't read it, but it makes me wonder like what else was in it. So I bet that.
I read, okay, so there's one for marriage, and that one's actually pretty bare bones from what I saw. It's only like a couple pages, and it's just like everyone can get married. Oh, it says you can't discriminate based off of race, sexual orientation, blah blah blah. There's also another one which is more, yeah, which is about contraceptive. So
Oh,
that one's
there
more
you go.
right, I think.
Well,
But
what does it say about it?
that's a separate bill.
Oh,
But it's like, oh, the government can't stop you from obtaining these things. So,
oh, well,
so
okay.
like condoms, birth control, uterine insert, whatever those are called, spermicide.
Okay. Did you read the whole thing?
I read the marriage one. I didn't bother with the contraceptive one because
All right.
it's
Well,
whatever.
if all the Republicans were against it, I mean, gay marriage maybe. Maybe yeah, they were just worried about their voting base being against gay marriage, which whatever.
Well,
I'm kind of at a
again, it goes
standstill.
back to like not. Why would you give your political opponents a victory? And that we saw that at the end of Trump's presidency too. Because there's a bunch of states that made people quarantine and stay inside, and so as a result, there are a bunch of people without jobs and no income. So, Trump wanted to give people $3,000, and both the Democrats and the Republicans said no, because, well, the Democrats, you'd think they'd be for that because, that's sort of their thing.
Yeah.
But
They
then they'd
didn't.
be giving a victory to
They
Trump,
didn't want it
which
to
they
be
did
under
not want it
Trump's
to
name.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when Biden gets in, they give you like a half-assed, oh yeah, here you go, kid. Thanks for the election, by the way.
So long, and thanks for the election.
Yep.
Um,
Here's your $600, kid. There you go. Have fun.
hope that's enough to
That'll
pay for
pay for your
college.
rent. Yeah. Oh, and Biden's college thing.
Yeah.
They've done a pretty good job at distracting from that.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't. He didn't produce, or what did you call it? He didn't follow through with his college.
Look at the mass shooting. Look at no mass shooting. Oh, Republicans.
Look
Yeah.
at the heckin' Republican arenas.
Look at the heckin' mass shootings. That was
The
pretty.
mass shooting arena.
That was funny how that last stunt got busted
Yeah.
in the best way possible. A random guy with a gun killed him.
Springfield Hellcat too.
With-
That's
yeah,
like
the dude had an AR, right? And the dude killed him with a tiny pistol.
yeah, it's similar to my pistol, just worse.
Worse than a 1911.
No, I have a P365,
Oh, okay.
and he had a Springfield Hellcat. So Springfield kind of has a reputation of being like low quality,
Okay.
and so the Hellcat is their version of the super compact pistol.
Okay. So it's like one of the worst pistols. So that drives home
It's low end.
like this is what the average law-abiding citizen can do with the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
With some idiot mass shooter who's angry at the world or whatever, which we all know are either groomed or directly trained by the FBI. Everybody, we all know it. Come on, we all know it. Come on,
No,
FBI, just admit it.
That's a heckin' conspiracy arena. The government would never do anything.
They would never
to our own citizens.
They would never do something like the CIA doesn't have a reputation of
Deliberately giving people
deliberately
STDs.
deliberately screwing up countries for their own interests,
Yeah.
getting them to like revolt against their governments and stuff.
The heckin' Waco Reno. The heckin'.
Yeah, they would never. The ATF would never hurt innocent people.
Yeah, we're here to protect you. Okay, idiot. Now we're gonna
Stupid.
burn all these women and children to death.
Stop rebelling
As we
against
think.
us, or we'll kill you. We're here to protect you.
Yeah. The heckin' government
Heckin' terrorist arenas.
terrorist.
Terrorinos. Terrorinos.
Quentin Terrorino.
I was watching a
He
bunch of
liked feet.
I was watching a bunch of clips from Pulp Fiction last night randomly.
Yeah.
I think that was
Any things stand out to you?
no, well, I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. Actually, that was another example of how Hollywood used to be good. I think
like
that
Pulp Fiction. It was a cool movie.
I haven't seen it. I was only watching pieces of it, but now I kind of want to see it. Anyway, I was like, I bet that was where Samuel Jackson started his reputation.
Started his
his
motherfucker.
His motherfucker thing.
Shtick.
That was where that started. Everybody, in every movie he did after that, they were like, "Hey, can you do that thing?"
Yeah.
At least they didn't make him do it in Star Wars.
He
We do
almost
not-
did, though.
We do not. You are not included in the Jedi Council, motherfucker.
That might have worked though.
It's Star Wars. I mean, I think you're allowed to. I think you get one F word per like hour for PG-13 movies. It's something like that.
Is Star Wars a kids movie?
Um, I don't know, sort of. It's not like super dark, but it has some violence in it, like where they cut each other's heads off and stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty sure they're PG-13, so probably shouldn't take your kids to see it. Although, other than the cool liberal parents who show their kids like Rocky Horror Picture Show and stuff like that. Oops.
Rocky Horror Picture Show is like one of the most overrated. I don't know what is it? It's a screenplay, right?
I don't know. It's like
But you bring it up and they're like, "Oh my gosh, have you ever gone to see it in person?" They throw like hot dogs and stuff. It's like
yeah,
that sounds
like
retarded, dude.
the like transsexual dude comes down into the audience and does a lap dance to whoever is unfortunate enough to be in the first row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid. There's a lot of degenerate stuff like that. Know what else is overrated is American Psycho.
Mm.
And it's
Well, that one died, so I don't know.
oh
It's
well, I don't
really
know. It's
considered
people still worship it as like a classic. So I saw that with my sister got a free trial on something or other, and I watched it with her. And I'm really glad that she offered to watch it and not me, because if I was the one who like invited her to watch that, and then sitting there like watching all those like BDSM sex scenes in it, they would have been super uncomfortable. And she kind of apologized afterwards, like, I didn't know it was like that. It's really not. It's not anything special. Like, it's just showing like all these evil people being horrible to each other, which is, there's nothing artistic about that. Like I was talking about Saw earlier. There's nothing artistic about it. Like, anybody can write that crap. Oh, there are these people and they're all degenerates and they're all cheating on their spouses with each other. And they're like backstabbing each other in their business, and this one guy, he's a psychopath and he wants to like kill people, and he kills some hookers and hides their bodies. It's nothing admirable. I don't respect the director, and I don't respect the author of the book either.
I do. Yeah, it was a book, huh?
Yeah, it was a book.
Forget about that sometimes.
Oh, the ending is so heckin' ambiguous arena. Wow, it's so artistic. We're using that Reddit joke a lot this episode. I haven't even been looking at the chat. Okay, no, there's nobody. There's nobody in the chat. We're at almost 2
How
hours.
come no one's watching our amazing heckin'
Watch my
stream
heckin'
arena?
stream arena. It's because of it's the glowies. They've de-incentivized my channel.
Heckin' demonetization arena.
Yeah, they demonetized me. I'm not getting like my
3 cents.
yeah, my 2 cents a year that I used to get from that
Sniper no snipe.
sniper no sniping. Yeah.
That video did really well, actually.
You know, it was weird though. It shot up really quickly to where it was at about, it's at like 400,000 something, and then suddenly it stopped. Really, really weird. I think it's the glowies.
Well, they
Just
want
run them over
new,
with your car.
yeah, their formula, their algorithm
Well, that was when I was still making stuff.
prioritizes like new things.
I made videos for about 3 or 4 years. I switched channels at some point, so if it's only this channel, it was about 3 years. It was like 2008 to about 2011. And
Yeah,
Sniper No
and
Sniping was the
I think
first one.
I think it predates the whole
algorithm.
Did it predate Google acquisition?
Oh, when was that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It was around then, I think.
They got him in 2006, so that maybe not.
Google bought YouTube in 2006.
Yes.
Really? Oh.
Sniper No Sniping, which is 2009. So
Yeah. Okay.
when did they start their draconian stuff?
Oh, becoming. I remember people talking about getting their channel removed for being offensive or whatever in like
2012 maybe.
well, you remember I was gone for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I have a black spot in my knowledge of internet history from 2013 to 2015, but I do remember seeing it in 2015.
Okay.
That was when they invented transgenderism in 2015. Never
Oh,
heard
yeah?
about it before that.
I'm trying to say otherwise, but I can't remember.
That was when the Bruce Jenner thing happened, I think.
Huh.
It existed before that, but that was when they put it into overdrive.
Well, clearly no one's thought about it until modern times.
Well, there were a couple bursts of it in history. What was that other country that started doing like sexual liberation and transgenderism and stuff and gay bars and stuff like that? I'm trying to think.
The 70s?
No, earlier than that. You don't know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
Anybody who doesn't know what the Weimar Republic, that's spelled with a W, by the way, if you don't know German.
Do you know German?
A little bit. I can pronounce German words. That's the extent.
I've heard it's pretty close to English, actually. So, like, English speakers have a pretty easy time learning it.
Okay. So it's spelled like Weimar, but the Weimar Republic, which was the last thing that happened in Germany right before the Nazi regime, were these great pioneers for transgenderism and homosexuality and sexual liberation and stuff. It's so strange, isn't it? And then the Nazis came and like destroyed all of it. They stopped all the progressive stuff from happening, just like they're doing today. That's what Nazis do.
Well, in the Weimar Republic, was drag queen story ever a thing where adult men expose themselves to children?
There was lots of drag queens, and there was lots of sexual exploitation of children. So, sort of. They also had hyperinflation going on at the time. That's interesting. Oh my gosh, I keep doing that. I was about to say one more, but one more. Here's the last one. That was a pretty good discussion. We'll definitely get canceled for this video if we have more people watching someday.
No, I mean we bashed the cops for the
Yeah, we talked about cops.
Time.
Aren't you happy now? I feel like we did it in ways that people would be upset about, though.
What?
I don't know, talking about Duncan Lemp and crime statistics and stuff. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah. We were mega incels in this video.
Mega incels.
We'll be. They're gonna heckin' cancel-areno us. Oh, there we go.
Oh man.
I hope my computer doesn't overheat. I need to have this laptop. Its fans are old and I need to replace them. And I need to open it up and vacuum the dust out of the fins again, which I haven't done for a couple years. So it starts doing that. You can probably hear it anytime even a little tiny game like this is running.
I don't understand. Like, does Linux do it less efficiently than other? Because I feel
the
like
laptop?
Windows wouldn't like run like get super hot for running a game like Super Great Box. You
Well,
know, like
I'm saying it's probably the hardware and not the software, but I don't know, maybe. It it has some NVIDIA graphics processor in it.
okay.
And I know in Mint you can use the regular one that's not open source, and you can use a different one that is open source. I don't remember which one I set it to. I think it's set to
The open source
right?
one sucks though. So
Yeah.
like the
That's,
driver.
that's the trade you
Yeah.
make. If you're gonna be like a hardcore Linux person, then a lot of stuff is shut off to you.
I mean, if you go full schizo, you could install OpenBSD and then use LibreBoot and then check your motherboard for any spying chips, which is a thing that has happened in the past. Like there was some Dell desktops that had spy chips in them, but
Oh, well, they have less obvious methods of doing it. Like,
yeah. Now it's just built into the CPU, so
processors have backdoors built into them. That are intentionally insecure so that the NSA can get into them.
Yep. Sure hope no one finds that and leaks it.
Actually,
Because then every single fucking computer in the world is.
yeah, that's true. That's somewhat known though. Like that was actually taught. I actually heard that in I think it was my networks class at college. So if a college is talking about it, then you know that it's made it through a couple layers of conspiracy theorists down to the normies.
Well, maybe some super autists can find it and leak it to the world, and then once it's leaked, you know.
I assume a number of hackers know about it, other than the NSA, but
yeah, but I would like it to be leaked to the common world, and because then once it's obvious to everyone, yeah, if everyone knows about it, then through sheer numbers, they kind of have to do something about it.
Maybe. Or it might be like the 2020 election where they just call it a conspiracy theory and then not enough people care enough to talk about it, and so nothing happens.
That's true. That could always happen.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But
so maybe in a way, if you have a modern computer, there's no point in running Linux on it.
Yeah.
If you have one hole in your boat, then might as well have 5.
That would be cool if somebody started making processors that don't have that backdoor in them. But I have a feeling that they would suddenly get busted for child porn or something like that, and the FBI would come and confiscate their servers and arrest them or something like that.
They'd probably get shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, they'd probably
and then declared as a suicide.
They'd send a SWAT team to come and kill them at 2 a.m.
But also, like, what country could you possibly make those in without the government stepping in and stopping you? Because you couldn't do it in the United States, you couldn't do it in China.
Russia, maybe. Russia's.
You don't think Russia's government would step in and
it depends.
Have you put a backdoor in for them?
Yeah, that's true. It would probably be bad for them as well. But Russia.
You could, maybe you could open source your chips. You know,
I guess.
This is what we're making.
Yeah, maybe.
Because then anyone could look. Because that's
still the same
basically
problem,
how
though.
free software license works.
Yeah, I guess so. You could
Is
invent it and make the blueprint public and then hope that more people start developing it. But the problem
yeah,
is that like the powers that be are probably going to step in if you threaten their power structure. So
yeah.
like Russia, the thing with Russia is it's whoever is the highest bidder. So if you pay them more money than like the whatever I don't know, three-letter agencies or what's a nice way to say it? New World Order people are willing to pay them to get you shut down. Um, there's stuff like iFunny in Russia. It's kind of funny. iFunny. People I know, like one of my brothers, um, who's not really interested in politics, but he often shares my
Holy crap.
opinions. Huh?
Sorry, this is off topic. I'll
Okay.
bring it up
All
once
right.
you're done here.
He's not really interested in politics, but he agrees with a lot of the stuff I say, like kind of fringe conservative stuff, because those are the things that people are putting on iFunny in meme form. And iFunny is Russian, so they don't have like American diversity experts in their uh, filtering it.
Oh, they're Russian?
They're Russian, yeah, that's why.
That's that explains a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's why you keep seeing like based memes that have the iFunny
The,
sticker
the
on it.
iFunny watermark.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. That explains a lot, actually.
Yeah. So,
We can banned the word groomer or Reno on Reddit and Twitter.
I don't know. Um, 4chan's hosted in Japan now, I think, which may or may not have done anything. The current owner is another person who will sell to the highest bidder. So I'm sure the feds can have backdoors inside of it as much as they want, and I bet they do. So don't do anything based on there unless you have 7 proxies. But I'm sure we're
What
on
can
their
you
list.
possibly do?
I'm
I
sure
mean,
you and
maybe.
I are on their list of extremists. That like million name long list of extremists
Yeah.
that got leaked. I know that I'm on it. uh,
Okay, so you know Snapchat.
okay.
So 1 year ago, they were worth like $70 per stock, 75, something like that.
I should pull up another game if we're gonna continue.
But today they're worth $10.
70 to 10, you said?
Yeah, so they dropped like $65 this year in
Huh.
value. Which, do people not use Snapchat anymore? I don't really understand.
Um, maybe Instagram took over its place in the market, but it's been around for a while, probably even longer than Snapchat. I don't know. Maybe it lost its
Maybe the Zoomers
appeal.
don't like it.
It's been around for a while though, hasn't it? I remember people talking about it back in like 2013.
Yeah. What's your Snap?
Yeah.
It's the nude app, really. You use it to send nudes to
Hmm.
people because what it does is it tells you if the other person took a screenshot, and you can't save the pictures. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
There
but who knows?
used to be a big controversy about sexting when I was in high school. That
Yeah,
blew over. Nobody cares much now.
I mean, boomers talk like it's this horrible thing, but then they had like sex lines that you could call for money and talk
That
to a phone prostitute.
may have
So,
been. They were probably less bad than now, but they had the whole hippie movement. They had like,
yeah, that's where all of this started anyway. So
yeah, that was kind of the birth of the modern liberal movement was the 60s,
mm,
which I don't know. I think it would
proto
have it would have been
SJWs.
kind of, yeah. It would have been kind of cool to be involved with in like the late 60s and 70s. I would have loved to go to Woodstock. Oh, and there was lots of sexual degeneracy there as well. But
Well, they didn't know about AIDS back then, so
yeah, and
it's just free love, man.
that was the roots of what it eventually became. There's a philosophical, philosophical. I don't know how to say that word as an adjective. There's a lesson to be learned there that going in the direction of freedom, in the sense of just freeing yourself from rules, will always lead you down a path that ends in like degeneracy.
I'll say
That's how
that
it always goes.
granting freedom, like recognizing freedom, is generally a good thing. So um like they used to consider like black people not people, so they didn't get freedom, right? So
Yeah,
we might see in the future that like unborn people are granted personhood,
yeah.
but who knows?
And then they'll look back on it like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that. I hope so, but it'll depend on, I don't know, what direction, who is running the government in the future. Frankly, I think we're in the foothills of a huge civil war right now, but um, we'll see. Yeah, having freedom, I guess, is good, but then freedom at the expense of self-discipline or moral standards. They sell it to you with the idea of, oh, you're being kept down by these restrictions, but then it always eventually leads you to degeneracy and addiction and, ironically, captivity. Being a slave to an addiction, or being a slave to, these propaganda networks and ideologies that they force upon people.
No, having vices is heckin' cool. Just look at this movie guy who has a cigarette in his mouth and he chain smokes and is an alcoholic.
Republicans are trying to get you to force all these rigid restrictions on yourself. We're just having fun. We're just out having fun, and they're just trying to keep us down. They're just trying to keep you down. Just be sexually liberated and take all the drugs and don't have kids, just be a cool wine ant.
I don't know how you can do that if none of your siblings have kids either, though.
Yeah, that's right. One of the siblings has to have kids.
You're just some bitch, I guess.
Your stupid Republican brother or sister has kids, and you'll be the cool wine ant, and you'll convince all their kids to be cool like you.
Yeah, you'll groom them.
Yeah, you'll grooming is a Republican dog whistle for discouraging liberation. Yeah. Anyway,
Who knows? Well,
what
time are we at?
It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay. Well, this is probably a good stop.
That was pretty good. Lots of incel conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Everything we don't like is a conspiracy theory. So. I need to buy more Roblox stock and more Snap stock so I can lose more money. Which is not advice, but I'll probably do that and then go, dang, I wish I had money later.
Well, maybe if a hedge fund bets against it, then you'll get Reddit to pump it up.
Yeah, Roblox and Snap.
Yeah.
I don't think Roblox would get their treatment because Roblox has a reputation of treating their employees pretty badly. So.
Roblox, I don't know. It looks like a stupid game to me, so I don't care.
My brother likes it, so I mean I don't have a problem with it.
Anyway,
I need heckin' Bitcoin to drop too. Anyway, I'll stop talking about my bad investments.
I want hacking Dogecoin to
Yeah, what the fuck's with
go back up.
goddamn Elon Musk saying, "Oh, Dogecoin is so awesome." Dogecoin runs on the same code as Bitcoin.
Oh, someone. Oh, hello, state of art. I don't know how long you've been there. We were just about to stop, unfortunately, but
Whose state of art?
somebody is in the chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh boy. I'm glad people joined at the very last minute.
That's why we've got to do it in like the evening instead, when people are home and on their computers.
Yeah, we'll
Although
do it at
evening is different for you than it is for me now.
yeah.
Um,
It's not too late. It's almost night time for me.
hmm.
That's okay. I mean, I have bad habits for sleep anyway.
Yeah, same. Hello.
Hello,
So,
darkness, my old friend.
yeah. Um, what is Bitcoin at now?
It's at 22K.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep waiting on that. No, Elon's just gonna pump and dump that. If he's saying Dogecoin is good, he'll wait for a bunch of people to buy it, and then he will sell it. And do you guys have a definition of systemic racism? Yeah, it's how cops abuse all of the BIPOCs. That's what happens.
Racism.
You know, watch the earlier part of the stream. We're playing this really progressive game about that fights against systemic racism.
It was pretty good. It was cathartic in a way. I'd say it needed some refinement of the controls. I'll
Yeah,
say that.
they should make a sequel for sure.
Yeah.
Does that sound good to you, State of Art? It's how the police abuse BIPOC people, persons of color, person spelled with a Y, of course, because we don't want to be like the patriarchy.
You saw the game we were playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Systemic racism. I don't know that if you want a real definition, it's probably just like a societal system that's
I'll
that's
tell you.
racist
I'll
in
tell
some
you.
codified way.
I'll tell you what they teach you in college. There's systemic violence that's ingrained in the system from the highest reaches, such as how white people created the American government, and so now there's racism ingrained in the very skeleton, in the very fiber of the American government, and it trickles down through the system and down to the foot soldiers, which are the police, which are abusing the BIPOC people. And so to fight systemic racism, we need to have mostly peaceful protests and uproot the whiteness, the ingrained whiteness and racism from our system. In fact, we should probably only let BIPOC people run for office in our government. I think that is how we could get rid of systemic racism. Yes, sir. That's how we'll do it.
That's what I like.
What do you like?
I don't know.
Only electing BIPOC people? We were on
Yeah.
the right track with Obama, but then they didn't let a woman break the glass ceiling.
Who was that? Hillary?
Hillary. Okay, he says
we
he's
got
going to tell us.
Kamala.
He's going to tell us the real intellectual definition. I'm on the edge
As
of
an
my seat.
intellectual. Okay, yeah, tell us.
So that. My explanation was what experts will tell you. Experts who are hired as college professors will tell you the stuff that I said. So what do you think? Do you think you're above them? You know better than the experts do. I bet he's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, I bet he hasn't even gone to collage. These are society's bleeding edge intellectuals who are coming up with these definitions, these
if
new
you don't
definitions.
if you don't have a doctorate's degree in philosophy,
Okay.
then you don't get to comment on moral issues. In
If
fact,
you have a doctorate's degree, that means you're our moral betters.
you're what?
And you have to, if you have a doctorate's degree, that means you're our moral betters, and you have to listen to the people with doctorates.
Yeah, then people who have a doctorate's degree in philosophy know way more about being a good person than you do. He says, as the years passed and there are still effects of it, however, the time has passed, and the excuses should be over. Oh, of systemic racism? Okay. I thought you were going to say something funny, so I was kind of disappointed by the serious answer. But
I'm still waiting for the punch scene.
oh, is there more
I
to
believe.
it?
I think maybe.
Type faster, state of art. This better be good
Do
as
live.
well. This will be the crowning jewel of this episode of great political commentary.
I think we can sum it up as we live in a society.
We live in a society.
That really is the crux of it. Yeah.
Oh, there wasn't a punchline.
I don't think that's a definition. It's like it's an ad.
I think he was talking about systemic racism, that there are effects of it, but no, they are not.
Oh, I thought he was going
iPad.
to give a definition of
He's on
systemic
he's on an
racism.
iPad.
It's an iPad. Yeah, I've got an
Systemic
iPad.
racism is Apple. Apple always makes all their technology white. What are the implications of this? It's because they are trying to say that white is better. If they really wanted to bring down systemic racism, they would start making their iPods black again.
I think we should bring back the old piece of shit beige desktop computers. In fact, I should go replace my computer's case with one of those.
I want
I
one
think
of
that'd
those.
be a good.
I want one of those old 90s desktops, like the light tan colored monitor
Yeah.
and computer tower. That was the
That's
shit.
what I want.
That's what I want. And I want Windows 98.
Yeah, that'd be epic.
I actually do want to collect old computers in the future when I have like money to spend on things other than survival. I'm gonna have a collection of like technology from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I would definitely get an Apple II and a Commodore 64 just because those are like the big ones.
I want a Commodore for sure. That'll be like my equivalent of Cat for like an old lonely lady who doesn't have children. I'll have lots of old computers. The social system is harsh on the black community because of the reputation they caused for themselves. The reputation, I don't know. I think the reputation mostly comes from the current state of things, like having a much higher crime rate than everybody else. So they talk about systemic racism. It's more the result of how their culture is currently.
Mm.
Anyway.
Well, well, state of art. You're a king or a queen. And thanks for tuning in.
We all know it's a man. There aren't
I don't
any
know.
girls on the internet.
Well, maybe they identify as
That's true.
a state of art, and they don't identify as either, and so I get to go to jail for
Yep.
for misgendering.
Will you go to the women's jail or the man's jail? They shouldn't even have a segregated jail. That's pretty offensive, actually. Which
Yeah.
one you go to will depend on which state you live in. If you're in California and you're a trans woman, then they'll send you to the women's prison, and who knows what
Maybe
will
we'll
happen
make
there, but I'm sure nothing bad.
I'll just pull a Christian Weston Chandler.
I want to go to jail and meet Chris Chen. That's my life goal. Okay. Thanks for watching the few people who showed up at the 11th hour. We are going to call that the bus stop for the short bus. Tune in
Alright.
for more. Oh, yeah, you're good, man. Tune in for more mentally disabled dialogue next week around the same time. Near the same time. We don't have a set time yet. Maybe we will in the future. We probably
If we
should.
were more disciplined, we would, but we're not that good at
Yeah,
planning.
yeah. Maybe if we have like average number of live watchers in the double digits, then we'll start caring about making the stream actually good.